All right. So some people already are just very into whiskey. Some are very into scotch. My wonderful girlfriend got me a beautiful bottle of 18-year gold label. She said there's two kinds. I need to confirm this. I just always went by the colors. You start with the red, then green, then black, and gold, and then they have a blue one. Pretty sure. And then now they made like a white one for some show, and they did another one for 2046, something like that, Blade Runner. Not sure of the blend. Some of those this one's been around for a while. If you haven't had scotches, I would always recommend starting with like Speyside, whatever. It's just an area where they're not as, I don't know, as strong. They'll say strong. That's just terminology they use. But some people enjoy light, delicate, elegant, things like that. So that one started me into that. They use peat moss till this day. It grows very hardy, and it grows dense. And they literally just chop it into bricks, and that's what's gonna smoke your barrels and stuff like that. And it just, big flavor inducer, makes it their thing. That's something that's continuously going. It still gets put in a barrel. So I'm trying to cover as much of the flavor profile on this. It's definitely got some peat moss. So peat moss is not quite like grassy. It just has a more dirt earthiness to it. It's definitely a sipper. And if you're not enjoying it, if you're not sure, always put like a drop of water in it or an ice cube. That's how you're supposed to enjoy it. Just let it be itself. Don't try to do anything crazy to it. Don't really try to shoot it. So even though you get handed shot glasses, that was just a small glass, literally just for it. And you're not supposed to slam on. You're actually supposed to sip on the liquor. That's the funny part. So that peat moss just reminds me of mealworms. I had a mealworm in a lollipop, and it just had this weird flavor, and I killed the mealworm from the bottom of a tequila bottle, and that just reminds me of that peat moss. I think of it every time I drink it. I'm like, why would you do that to yourself? It's just trying to learn the peat moss game. I stick to very American whiskeys usually. The oakiness or woodiness is just in there. There's the sugars, these do have more sugars because of the wood, and the complexity from them can be from smoky, peat moss, light caramel. Vanilla is usually a common one. I love that one. I go crazy for it. I do have a sweet tooth, but I don't like sweet drinks. But when they do it right and it has natural sugars in there that broke down correctly, not just forced into it and mixed up, I enjoy the crap out of it, especially bourbon. A beautiful burn. The burn itself does not bother me. I enjoy spicy food. So anyone that just can't handle the burn of liquors, that's a big major factor. There are some that are lighter and don't burn as much, and that's okay. For me, as long as they ferment it and do everything naturally, I can enjoy most of like the vodkas and stuff, but I'm not a clear liquor person. So this is not something to party with and chug, but you are celebrating or enjoying a moment. And it's just to sit there and ponder and be like, man, let's just take this moment right now and be thankful. That's all it is. And it's just, when you're doing okay and you can afford a bottle of scotch, you're doing something right in life. So keep moving forward. Oh, this is not the proper vessel. I actually have a proper vessel that I should have used, but I just like the skull one more. So we'll see. Maybe I can put them together. So definitely vanilla. The smoky woody is very light. More like it would remind me of like amber notes in like beer or something like that. Being in a field of wheat, just outside. Probably like a cloudy day because it's definitely seeming a little. And you're supposed to have your mouth open a little bit. The alcohol particles are a little heavier, so some of the flavor or smell, sense particles will get into your nose, and the alcohol will actually run down and skip it. And if you just fry this out, you're gonna be teary-eyed and you're not really gonna be enjoying it. So if you just see, it'll open. I'm breathing in, but yeah, it feels lighter when you just go. You're getting all the booze and it goes straight in your nose, and you're not supposed to do that. If anyone remembers chemistry or anything in science class, you're supposed to do this with chemicals. If not, you grab the wrong one, you're down on the ground. So be careful out there. Don't just be inhaling. Do take a weird moment to enjoy this and not just be slamming it. It's called a shot because that's the portion size, but you're not really supposed to chug it. Just sip on it. With all this going on, I'm glad I got it. I'm thankful. It's definitely got more peat moss going on than my average scotch. So this is kind of like my threshold is 12 to 18 because I had a 23 year, and No. Maybe it was a wrong brand. I don't know, some other off brand. But like Monkey Shoulder's not that bad. It's a blended scotch. All the other ones, I don't recommend the red. I'm not sure. I don't think I had the green. The black one was Black Label's the one I had that I normally liked. It's a little sweet. Definitely some peat moss notes, vanilla. It's not too harsh, but it definitely brings a little like, hey, I'm here and I'm here to hang out. And this one's just a little bit lighter than that, but more of the flavor intensity, and definitely a bigger presence of the peat moss. So blended but beautiful. Maybe I'll try a single grain soon, but for now, I'm just gonna take my time on this. Hopefully you learned something if you haven't had this and you're wondering, you know, Belvine and Chivas, and Chivas is not bad. It's definitely in your face. All the other ones are not too bad. They're actually pretty elegant, but once you get to Highland, you're gonna have that peat moss. Space, if I'm seeing a space egg, something like that. That's usually, I think, the coastal one, and they usually come out a little lighter and more delicate. So starting off, just start there. All the real Scotch people would start, oh, what do you, and they're like, oh, Highlands, yeah, and you know that they want bolder flavors and they're enjoying it, and you're just like, that's okay, I'm learning. And they'll recommend stuff, but you can't jump into it because you will get smacked across the gums, and it will be very intense. So be picky, take your time, and just enjoy it. Don't let anybody rush you, and you'll catch on to some of the whiskeys and bourbons, or you will just enjoy Scotch. So people just only enjoy Scotch, don't like the rest. I'm more of a bourbon guy. Just want you to know that, not because I want you to know, because then you can see, okay, this is where his main focus of flavor is. He can do whiskeys, but he prefers bourbon and some Scotches. That's just where I'm at. Some people are all Scotch all the way, and it just appeals to them, and that's fine. And then some only like whiskey. Whiskey usually involves people that don't want super heavy liquor. It's usually 40, has good complexity. They're a little lighter, more refreshing. Still got some subtle notes of vanilla and oak and all that. And so, cool. For me, bring on the flavor. Bring it on. There you go. I'm ranting on, but anyways, yeah. Anybody checking this out? It's worth a good celebration and hanging out and just having good company. And do have a good night and enjoy yourself. Cheers.